So I saw the Hail Satan documentary that the Satanic Temple released. I think it was directed by Penny Lane. Um, I'm gonna give it an honest review without trying to get too convoluted or sidetracked into my personal feelings or opinions about the organization itself. Just I'm gonna try to just focus on the documentary itself. I would give it, I'd say probably about 3.5 to 4 stars, and I'll tell you why. One thing I did like about it, I really liked that they focused on the political agenda of the Satanic Temple, which is really what the Satanic Temple is the activist political movement. I did like that part. I did like a lot of what I think Lucien did a great job of explaining a lot of misunderstood speculations and stuff like that about the Satanic Temple and about some other individual projects and stuff like that. I did like the fact that there's some funny parts in it. I did like the fact that they went into they went into their agendas and they explained that very well. And I thought it was done really well on an artistic or cinematographer, whatever, artistic level from Penny Lane. I'm sure there's a lot more people who were involved that I'm not mentioning, but that was the name that stuck out of my head. I thought it was done well. I thought it was long-winded though in some parts, but mind you, I've been following the Satanic Temple from its inception. Well, at least from what I heard about it on Comedy Central in 2013. So, some of it seemed a little bit long and drawn out to me. Some of it seemed a little overplayed, a little stretched. But that's that. I'm trying to be unbiased and think that maybe the regular person who's going to see it, who doesn't know a lot about the Satanic Temple or about their political activism, about their campaigns, stuff like that, might feel a little bit different. Might be really hold their attention. For me, some parts got a little dry, a little long, but I just told you the reason why. So other than that, I thought it was pretty good. There was some really interesting. They actually, even as much as I followed Satanic Temple, there's some things in there that were in there that I wasn't really aware of, or maybe I was and overlooked. So it is educational, but if you're going to see a movie or a documentary, Hail Satan, with a question mark at the end of it, for a good reason. If you're gonna go see that, great. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the money. I think it's worth. If you're interested in the Satanic Temple, it's a very good documentary about the Satanic Temple. Now, if you're going to be educated about Satanism, it has very little to do with Satanism whatsoever. It has more to do about the Satanic Temple. I'll get into that in about a different video. But if you're interested in the Satanic Temple and you're interested in what they're doing and what they've been doing and trying to do politically, what can I say? Like I said, I give it 3.5 to 4 stars. The only thing I really didn't care for was, but then again, see, we're talking about the Satanic Temple. I'm going to try to get not too convoluted or sidetracked, which I almost always will, and always do. But if you're interested in learning about the Satanic Temple, first off, you should probably go to their website. You should probably read. But if you're really fucking lazy, well, you should go see the documentary anyway. I mean, it's worth it. I mean, yeah, it was entertaining and it was informative. So, the only thing I personally didn't care about it is towards the ending when they talked with about Jax Blackmore's falling out the Satanic Temple because they kicked her out for being too sinister and promoting violence. I just gotta call bullshit on that. I mean, it doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean, if you're a critical thinker, okay, all right, I'm gonna try to save my own personal things. I'm trying to keep this, objective here. It doesn't make any sense that Jax Blackmore would, one, threaten to assassinate the president or call for the assassination of the president or to release snakes in the governor's mansion or to promote anything violent when it's being known that it's going to be in a documentary. All right. And if they fired her, which they did because they talk about it in the documentary, why would you continue to do the documentary? So this is all like for shock value, because I 100% call bullshit on this. Who knows what really happened, but I think they're just adding that to the documentary because it got a little slow and a little dry and a little drawn out, and they wanted to add some sort of sinister back into it. And well, if you really want to saying yeah, I'm calling bullshit, because nobody, why would you finish a documentary if you got fired? Why would you continue to do it? And why would you even put stuff in the documentary about calling for the assassination of the president? That's all fucking, it's retarded. It's bullshit, because it doesn't make any sense. Think about it. If you're a critical thinker, it doesn't make any fucking sense that you would do that whatsoever, nor would you talk about it. Because if you're actually sinister, you fucking just do it. You would actually do it. You want to put it on the grand scheme of the big screen, and then be like, oh, well, they fired me because I was too sinister, and then the Satanic Temple's like, oh, well, we don't support acts of violence, we had to let her go. Why the fuck is it in the documentary to begin with, and why is it amplified? Why? Because it's bullshit, and because it's used for shock value and to add something, a dramatic flair to the documentary, which is really unfortunate. And whoever made that decision, now if you're trying to sell it to the plebes and the masses, okay, fine, but anybody who has any critical thinking skills is gonna, like, it almost ruined the movies for me, or the documentary, just because it's just like, doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would you say something like that, have it be put on or the big screen, right, the documentary, and then have you say, oh, well, we had to let her go, and then have her not apologize, but just, like, you know, meander on about what happened, because it never happened, and it was for show. So take that for what it's worth. That's my opinion. If you want to learn something about the Satanic Temple, there you go. If you're expecting to learn anything about Satanism, you're wasting your time. But that, my only other criticism about it is they put way too much emphasis on the LGBT community. Granted, again, we're talking about the Satanic Temple, we're not talking about Satanism, right? Because this is two. One's a political organization, Satanic Temple, which has very little to do with Satanism anymore. The other is a philosophical movement. Okay, and that's important to differentiate. I'm going to try to limit this because I'm already getting 8 minutes here, and this is going to be a very long video if I really split hairs here. But it's important to realize the Satanic Temple is a political activist movement. Okay, it is not. It has very little to do with Satanism. It is a political movement using Satanism to push a left-wing agenda successfully, and they put way too much emphasis on the LGBT community. Now, nobody, you know, Satanists support the LGBT community, right? But it has nothing, that the LGBT, your sexual orientation has nothing to do with Satanism. Zero. Absolutely fucking zero. So why is there so much emphasis on it within the Satanic Temple? Why are the rainbow flags everywhere? Why are there transgenders? Why are there homosexuals? It's like, blah, blah, blah. It's like overwhelmed in this documentary. Like emphasizing, re-emphasizing, overly emphasizing the LGBT community. Well, why? Again, this is Satanic Temple. This is not Satanism. This is an educational documentary. Take it with a grain of salt towards the end, but overall, it's decent. And I applaud Lucian in his part. I thought he did really well. And you know, I saw some familiar faces that I thought did well too. Once again, I give it 3.5 out of 4 stars. If you want to learn about Satanism, you're wasting your time watching this documentary. If you want to learn about the Satanic Temple, pretty solid.